when the world rots, we set it afire for the sake of the next world. It's the one thing we do right, unlike those fools on the outside.
Hi, everyone. One of our favorite reasons to get on the couch is to talk about Souls and or Bloodborne.
It's one of my favorite reasons to get up in the morning.
And I was working on a review for Ashes of Ariandel. How do you...
I think it's right.
Ariandel?
Yeah.
Ariandel. And I've just so slammed with reviews that I thought, these guys have beat it. They're excited about it. They're knowledgeable of Souls. And you guys want more Just Play discussion, so that's exactly what we're going to do. Let's talk about the first DLC for Dark Souls 3. Now, you know that we all have very high opinions of the Soulsborne DLC.
Yeah,
Old
no
Hunters
secret.
was amazing. Artorias of the Abyss was amazing. The trilogy of Dark Souls 2 was very, very good. So my first question to you is, how does this compare to the past DLC?
I think pretty good. Oh, God. I think it's better than some of the Dark Souls 2 DLC. I think it's better than some of them. Mm-hmm. Maybe all of them, actually, now I think about it. Yeah, I think it's better than all the Dark Souls ones. It's shorter. Okay. That's probably its biggest drawback, but I think it's better than Dark Souls 2. Like, Artorias of the Abyss, still better, way better. And
Gotcha.
Whole Hunters, yeah, way better.
So I know a lot of people would hear shorter and then immediately be like, wait, how is that better? Why is it so short? What is it that makes it better than the individual Dark Souls 2 episodes?
I felt like with this DLC, they trimmed a lot of the fat. When you say it, like for example, in Dark Souls 2, there was always an optional boss in the DLCs, and the bosses were usually not good. Like in the second one, it was the Smelter Demon again.
I stopped playing. Like, I actually just quit out of the fight.
It's
when
like
I
a
saw
bad
him
moment
again.
like that.
That's
like,
the
ugh.
only boss in all of Soulsborne I never beat, because I was like, I don't need to beat that again.
Yeah. You got there and you just kind of sighed, and it had no impact.
Or the third one had like the two tigers at the end, and the first one had the gank squad or whatever at the beginning.
So playing devil's advocate here,
Yeah.
the first boss in the Dark Souls 3 DLC has gotten a little bit of controversy because it's, just kind of a human enemy and some wolves.
Yeah.
Do you think that fight worked for you?
I thought it was a cool fight. I actually played that one last.
Me too.
I missed it.
Interesting.
I missed it completely
Okay.
because it's kind of hidden. But I thought it was okay. But I mean, yeah, the star of the show, the DLC, is that last fight for sure.
Yeah, and that's ultimately what I judge the DLC on, is the quality of bosses, because every Soulsborne DLC has some of the best bosses in the entire game.
Definitely.
And this final boss was like legendary moment for me.
Before we get into it, I do want to say, if you don't want that second boss spoiled for you, we are going to talk about it. So just heads up.
Yeah. Even before we get to the boss, just like this expansion spoke to me because it was like Viking inspired.
Yeah.
So just right out of the gate, I was very excited. I couldn't help but think of Destiny though, like Rise of Iron with all like the wolves and the snow. There was some kind of overlap there.
I loved that wolf mechanic though, dude.
Loved the wolves, and the biggest thing was that I loved how disorienting it was with the weather and kind of the environmental hazards, which is awesome, because Dark Souls is so much about like navigating the environment, but when you throw in weather and like all these branching paths, I was very disoriented.
Let me bring up an example of how to do it good. This DLC did snow, like wide open environments, good.
Yeah.
Dark Souls 2 DLC, the last one, did not do it good.
Oh, I remember that.
Where you're like out in the outskirts and there's like those like demon ponies attacking you and you can't see anything. It's like snow blind.
Yeah.
This did that way better, I felt like.
Especially because it's in certain situations, and then when you kind of get in a cave or something, you have visibility there. I loved that. And another thing that spoke to me, because I'm obsessed with Vikings, but another thing was flies freak me the hell out, Ben Moore, okay?
Okay, this is your spider.
You with spiders, I had that exact feeling, like when I was playing through this, you with spiders is like me with flies. I was so uncomfortable in that entire environment. Like, I just wanted to get through it so badly and so fast. Like I was freaking out. All the like buzzing, and they're like launching at you and launching back, and just all the rot everywhere. It got me so hard, man. I wanted it to end.
That's so funny. When you said that to me earlier,
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about like the crow creatures,
The
like
crow-
Corvians.
and
I
the
was like, okay, I
noises.
get it. But then the flies, I did not expect that. That's
Yeah.
really funny.
The crow noises was disturbing. Like there was a lot of
They're like really weak and frail and like crawling around, like,
Yeah.
"Meow," and you're just murdering these disgusting crows.
very uncomfortable.
That is what I love, and I think Dark Souls 3 did an excellent job of doing, like, especially when you're going and you see those weird slug creatures,
Yeah.
or when you have that giant wolf spider drop on top of you, just these enemies that can get under your skin in a way that no other game can. It's so cool to hear that the DLC does that, and it has that tone, kind of piggybacking off of that. You know, a lot of people are really obsessed about the lore in Dark Souls and all of the games. Do you feel like there's enough substance here despite the short length? Does it tell an interesting tale?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
I
me-
have investigated a lot of it.
Oh,
Sorry.
this is perfect. No, this is perfect.
Well, I
interrupted
don't
you.
want to like give it away because I think half the fun's kind of like figuring it out yourself. But
Sure.
I was interested. So for context, this DLC I believe is the first part of a second. There's gonna be a second part that continues on from this. So it set up a nice little story to go into the next one. I was like, okay, this is great. I need some answers.
Yeah.
Maybe if we get them, who knows, with Dark Souls. But yeah, I thought it was appropriate.
Good.
I never investigate the Souls lore, especially when I'm done. I'm just kind of like, okay, I interpret what I want. That's it.
Sure.
The final boss was like poetic to me.
It tells a story kind of in and of itself.
In and of itself,
Yeah.
that final boss. Wow. Let's just get into that. Can we get into the final
Yeah,
boss?
We
go
absolutely
for it, man.
can't get
Start
into
us
the
up.
final boss. There's a question I want to lead off with the
Oh,
final
sure.
boss. Again,
Yeah.
spoilers. It's a 3-phase fight.
Yes.
That's a lot of phases. That
a
can
lot
be
of phases.
really frustrating. And when you die at this boss, you've got to do the whole thing again. So what is it about the fight that prevents that from being annoying?
So many things, because it's a pleasure. It's like why is Dark Souls fun? Because it's why is dying in Dark Souls okay? Right. It's because it's so fun and engaging, and just I'm so used to insane, like right when I booted up the game and when you get that intro menu music, the da, 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 I'm so
You're intimidated?
I'm so ready for like Souls insane epic music and loud and bombastic, and when a boss comes it's just out of control most of the time. It was very
Great. It was
slow
graceful, dude.
and graceful.
The beginning, yeah.
This music for the fight.
Elegant, I would say.
It was elegant, exactly, and it kind of just put me in the zone, and it was like a dance. You know, it's what makes Ornstein and Smough one of my all-time favorite moments in video games. Is that it isn't brute force. It's not just a simple like, okay, dodge, attack, parry thing. It's like distance matters, positioning matters. It's just so. It's like a ballet, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it totally invokes Ornstein and Smough for sure, because just spoilers, I guess, whatever. Spoilers for everything.
Yeah.
First fight is like a one-on-one duel with this woman who's very reminiscent of Priscilla.
Sure.
So you find more about that.
I also got Lady Maria vibes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, especially in the later phase, too. Yeah, you fight her, then this other creature is there, and you think you're going to fight him one-on-one.
Yeah.
Then she comes back up, so that's immediately 2v1. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, let's go.
When it goes down, then you're like fighting for your life and everything like that,
Yeah.
and you get him down, you're like, whoo, and you
Yeah.
dude, this, I love that they did this. So when you beat that phase, you get a Titanite slab.
Yeah.
And I was like, nice, I beat it.
Right, because that's
Yeah.
what that has to
Yeah.
mean, right?
I
Getting
like
that
a,
Titanite
like a sigh of relief. I was like, okay, sweet. Then like you get some dialogue comes in, you're like, what? Then she gets up again,
Yeah.
and this time she's using Black Flame, which is very cool for lore nerds.
Yep.
So I'm super excited to see what they do with that.
And just to evoke lightning, like, do you dream of death?
Oh my god!
Like, I kept. It was just so, like
I never thought we'd
the
bring that.
undertones of death throughout
Yeah.
all this. Everyone's rotting away in this world. It's all about death and dying and decay. And she's wielding a scythe, and she's cloaked face. Like, again, just this one small fight said a billion words and got my mind just racing and thinking, and again, like people are talking about the short length, but that alone is longevity and those thinking about all that.
Yeah.
I think the cutscene that plays after you finish the first phase and that guy breaks his change and he
Yes.
opens up his mouth so huge and he's screaming in agony. You're like, wow, what is going on? You're just so in the moment. It's incredible.
That's my favorite freeze frame, dude, is right when phase 2 is starting.
Yep.
He's like screaming and then she just like gets the scythe ready. And I got like Naruto vibes too, how she like would jump and like throw the scythe down and like she would disappear and kind of like dance into it. Just the movement and stuff, again, just beautiful.
Final question. I think we've already answered this, but just to
There's
hit the hammer on the head.
There's one more thing I want to talk about though.
Sure. Despite the short length, worth the price of admission.
Absolutely. For the fight. That fight alone.
No question, no hesitation,
Yeah.
just thumbs
No
up.
hesitation. It is a little short.
Yeah, it's short. I mean, I think if you know that going in, like, I think going through the zones were fun too, like the new zones. I had a blast going through them.
Yeah.
Like we said, trim the fat. They trimmed the fat.
Does it help that you know that there's also more coming?
Yeah, absolutely. Because it ends on like an unclimactic kind of thing. You like
Sure.
beat it and you're like, a little more right here would be nice. A little more, a little something more. But knowing that it'll continue on is very comforting.
Take us home, Huber.
There's emphasis on PvP, which I thought
Yeah.
has been a long time coming. And I think...
Thank you for bringing this up.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of being ignored because, you know, with the PvP camp, it's like people either do it or they don't. So all those people that don't do it feel like it's not additional content. And I tried it out, and it was jolly. It was
What makes it different? What makes it special?
so like you can you burn a thing in Firelink Shrine, and then it pops up a little menu like Enter Arena, and then from there a dedicated menu, a dedicated place to join matchmaking, and you can do one-on-one duels, co-op battles, or just all-out brawls. So obviously I did an all-out 6-player brawl, and it was insanity. I went in this arena and there were 5 other guys all decked out in crazy stuff. You got this guy that's imitating Guts with some huge sword. You got this caster who's like up on a little thing, like throwing spells down, and last hit gets the point. So it is just utter pandemonium and a fun little thing, and I'm glad that they added it because like PvP is a huge part of those games, you know, the underworld of PvP and Souls, so to speak, and this is like an actual dedicated place to go and fulfill that itch.
Yeah, the pure chaos of it sounds like...
It's so chaotic.
Oh man, I really want to experience that. Were there people like trying to jump and get that last hit, like trying to
Yes.
snipe as much as possible?
Yeah,
Nice.
like you'd get someone down, you only get 1 chug per life. So someone would be super low on health, and then everyone would just be running at that person would try to like run around. It was good.
One quick thing I want to bring up is good weapons in this DLC. Good
Yes.
new weapons, man.
Yes.
Like, did you use the Corvian, like, rapier?
Nope.
And the claws, man. Oh my god, there's some really fun weapons in this DLC.
Cool. Do they kind of feel like additions into categories we're already familiar with, or just totally new things, or there's some twist to them, or...
Some of them are kind of like, they're tweaks. Like, I didn't see stuff where I was like, I've never seen anything like this before.
Sure.
But it tweaks on things that made it stand out completely different from like other forms of it. Like this rapier, the moveset's super different because you have like a different weapon. There's like a
Right.
You can get the boss's scythe,
Oh.
and the weapon art is like you bring out a second scythe, and it's like how you use it is kind of unique. Like you walk really slow with it.
That's
really
really
it's
cool.
really fun.
I know I'm anime scrub, I always say Naruto, but I just meant that fight is anime inspired in general. Sure. It's almost like she's running on water in a weird way. Like, and the move with the scythe, she like hits you up and then pulls you down. Like everything she does is just...
When she like does that quick grab and then you hear her like leave us alone, like as you're
Yes!
dying. Oh, it's so good.
It's so good.
So yeah, I think it's fair to say that both of us, or all 3 of us, excuse me, can't count. All 3 of us are very, very warm on the DLC. Ian's been playing it. He didn't want to join us because he didn't want to be spoiled. He hadn't finished it yet, which is totally understandable. But he's enjoying it as well. So I think this has the full EZA recommendation, or at least everybody that's gone through all of Dark Souls 3. So hope you guys enjoyed the conversation, and maybe we can do more videos like this.
Oh.
I wonder if Uncle Gale has found it. The dark soul of man.